Having recently turned 21, I finally get to play poker in my hometown, Los Angeles. Now, instead of driving across the country to play, I just get to sit in traffic every day. It's awesome. I'm gonna cover 2 sessions at the Hustler Casino in this video. The first one, we got absolutely obliterated. Let me show you how. We had pocket kings all in pre-flop for a $4,500 pot. And we lose both boards to queen 10 of clubs. And they say poker is dying. I don't think so. Then we 4-bet ace king and call off an all-in from our friend Ray. He has ace queen. Another pot over 4K, and surely we're gonna climb out of the hole with this one, right?
That's a queen.
There's no way.
Mamma mia.
That was my last session at Hustler. If those hands go differently, we could have had a massive winning day. Oh well. Today, we're getting ready to put in a marathon session. My plan is to show up to the casino at 11 a.m., play all day, and hopefully come back with more of these. The last session was rough, but it wasn't the first time I've ran bad in this game. You must embrace the losses as much as the wins. And today, I'm out for revenge. Let's go get them.
Alright, we just pulled up to the Hustler. 11:20 in the morning, folks. This does not happen very often. I have been trying to get here early on some days and just have like a whole day to grind, like, 8 to 12 hour session. What I usually do is pull up at like 7 or 8 p.m. and then play until the game breaks. Last time we played Wednesday here, we got bent over and it didn't go very well. Let's go play some cards.
5, 5, 10, 1500 max is the game of choice today. My DGen side comes out pretty early. I start playing red or black for 100 each with my friend Jacob. We each choose a color, and whatever majority color comes on the flop, that person wins $100. I chose black, and so far we've lost 3 in a row. We're down 300. I don't know why I do stuff like this, but now it's time for a double or nothing $300 bet. Alright, now we're even. That was a sweat. It's time for some poker. This game is playing with a $20 straddle on almost always. The button raises to 50, the small blind calls, and I re-raise king queen from the big blind to 250. Both players put in the call, and we are 3 ways to jack deuce deuce with 2 diamonds. The first player checks, and on this dry of a board, I think we can start betting, representing our strongest hands like aces, kings, and queens. I bet 300, but neither of them shy away quite yet. They both put in the call, and the turn is the 10 of spades. While yes, we pick up the open-ended straight draw, this spot is starting to become a little bit scary. Getting called by both players on the flop makes me not want to keep bluffing. Plus, we could be drawing dead to a hand like pocket jacks or 10s, so I decide to pump the brakes and check. The player on the button now bets 900, and both the small blind and myself reluctantly fold. Before the button mucks his cards, he shows us the 9 of spades. Let me know what you think he had. That was quite an interesting card to show. Nonetheless, nice hand. Then we flop a combo draw with queen jack of spades, and we get it all in against a shorter stack. We get there right on the turn and scoop a $1,000 pot. Very nice. Now we have the glorious pocket aces. We re-raise to 200, and now the player who made it 60 initially calls. The flop is low and connected, and he leads into me for 150. This is a pretty scary board. It is possible that we could be beat, so I just call. The turn is a queen, and now he checks. I think if he had a hand that's better than mine, he would have just bet himself. It's as simple as that. There's numerous hands that could call us here, so I bet for 400, but he quickly folds, and we win the pot. We're flying through these hands. Next we peel ace king of hearts. I'm trying not to get flashbacks after the last session here. There's a raise to 60 from early position, and there's 2 calls. I re-raise to 320, and now only the player on the button calls. This is the guy who showed the 9 of spades in that other hand, so we'll see what happens with this one. The flop comes jack 8-8 with 2 diamonds. I put out a small bet of 200, and he calls. The turn is the 4 of clubs, doesn't help our hand. In game, I wasn't sure if we should keep betting or not. This guy seems like the type of player to not want to fold a whole lot, so trying to get him to fold something like pocket 7s here doesn't really sound like the greatest idea. That being said, we actually should just have the best hand here a lot. A large portion of the hands he can have is just going to be a flush draw or a straight draw. So let me know what you would do here. In game, I just decided to check. He checked it back. The river was a 7, and it goes check, check again. But we lose this one to jack 9 of hearts. All right, now it's time for the most interesting hand of the day with everybody's favorite hand, pocket jacks. There's no straddle on for this one, so the early position raises to $30. I re-raise to 100, and now the straddle puts in another raise to $300. The other guy folds, and I'm facing my friend Justin, who's a pretty good aggressive player. I'm going to be playing this one in position all day. I call. The flop comes low. It's 8-7 deuce rainbow. Good for our hand, but we're still crushed by all of the bigger pairs he can have. He puts out a bet of 325, and I can't fold just yet. I call. The turn is an 8, and now he takes his time before going all in for $1,100. Now, this isn't a great spot for us. He's telling me he has aces, kings, or queens. He, of course, can have other hands in his range, like ace-king, ace-queen suited, and depending on how aggressive this guy actually is, even some more hands. I've made the assumption that he is pretty aggressive and capable of bluffing here. On top of that, I think if he had aces or kings, he would bet smaller on the turn given how dry the board is. I just had a gut feeling here that I was good, and I go with my gut. I stick in the call. The river comes a 6, and he says a pair is good. We show our hand, we scoop the pot, let's go. And he later told me that he just had queen high, so we definitely caught him getting a bit out of line. It's a $3,500 pot coming our way. You'd love to see it. All right, we've been playing for a while now, about 7 hours. And in this hand we call pocket 4s. We turned a set when everyone checked on the flop. The player bets 150, I call. On the river now he checks, and I want to get more money, so I bet 450. He goes all in for 800. We call, we win, we have a full house. Simple poker. From what was an absolute disaster of a session last time, it's the total opposite this time around. We're up almost $4,000. This hand's pretty funny. Over a few limps, the small blind raises to $125. I have king 10 suited, and I re-raise from the straddle to 400. Now he puts in another raise to $1,000. Don't think I'm going to be continuing against this bet. I fold. He's nice enough to show me his cards, and he flips over a 5 and tells me to stop bullying the table. Nice hand, sir. I told you guys this would be a marathon session. I still have a couple hands to go over. The next one is against our friend Ray. I actually don't know if he is our friend because he's the one who stacked us with ace-queen on 2 boards last week. No, I'm just kidding. Ray makes it 60, and I re-raise to 200 with pocket kings. He calls, and the flop comes 10-9-5 rainbow. When he checks, I bet 200. I have a very good hand. I want to put more money in, and he calls. The turn is an 8, and he checks again. Now, there's an argument for betting here, but this card connects the board a lot, especially with a lot of hands he can have in his range. Something like queen jack, pocket 8s, 9-8 suited, hands like that. I don't think we have to bet kings here every time. I check. The river is an offsuit 3, and he checks again. Now we have the green light. We should certainly have the best hand here. Wouldn't expect him to have a lot of 10x hands. I think he probably would have bet those himself. So now we're targeting a 9 or some smaller pairs. I bet 600, hoping for the best. And Ray doesn't disappoint. He puts in the call, we show, and of course, we're good. And we get a little bit of rebate from that hand last week. Now the game's getting crazy. There's an $80 straddle on. I made it 300 with ace-queen of hearts and got 2 players to call. The flop came pretty bad for us. It's 10-7-6 with 2 spades. But the flop checks around, and the turn gives us a flush draw. But now the first player bets 600, and this guy's been getting in the mix quite a bit, showing up with some wild hands. If we can hit a flush, we could win a big one. Plus, it is possible our ace high is good. For 600, I call. The river doesn't help us. It's the king of diamonds. But now he checks, and I don't think I want to bluff with this hand. I say a prayer to the poker gods and check back. But we lose to his 10-7 of diamonds. Okay, folks, it's time for the last hand of the night. Possibly the most poorly played one as well. The $80 straddle is on again. We're in the small blind with king-queen. We raise to 225, and only our friend Ray on the button calls. He was in the straddle, by the way. The flop is 10-9-4 with 2 diamonds. We don't have a diamond. I start with a check. He puts out a small bet of 150, and for this price, with our 2 overcards and a gut shot, I'm going to be sticking around for a little longer. I call. The turn is an 8, and it goes check, check, and the river comes a 4. Now I think I make a pretty bad play here and bet 450. Given the way I played this hand, it's going to be pretty hard for him to believe me. Because the pot was so big from the straddle, basically any strong hand that I would play up to this point, I probably would have put more money in earlier. I think it was just a bit of fatigue after playing it for 10 hours and just wanting to win this pot with king high. But I'm not surprised when he puts in the call and shows us 8-6 offsuit for a turned pair. Nice hand, Ray. You deserve that one. Now, after a session that lasted longer than 10 hours, we cash out with an even profit of $4,000. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him back.